Welcome. Well, today I'm looking at this picture that I got off Google Images, and I am doing part 2 of our octopus drawing. So you always want to look a little bit more at your photograph than you're looking at what you're doing with your hand. You want to train your eye to look at what you're drawing and look at distances, space between lines, and I love the movement. There's an art term for you. Movement is the way that the lines and shapes and patterns in an artwork move our eye around the piece. And the arms of the octopus just create a natural movement. So compare the distance between each arm and the angle. You'll see I'm erasing a couple times because I didn't quite get the thickness right or the distance right. If we want these to look more realistic than my last octopus drawing, we have to carefully analyze the distance, shapes, and spaces between the different parts of the octopus. Now let's get started with some colored pencil. We want to use the rule of threes with colored pencils. That means we want to use 3 colors at a time, and we want to start with our lightest color. So you're going to see me use a lot of yellow on the base and even leave a little bit of white because I'm going to want that yellow and that white to show through in some places. Now I'm moving to my next darkest color. I used just a basic colored pencil set here so that hopefully you guys have these colors at home. But I am going to use that entire 12 pack of colored pencils for this project. Except brown, and that's probably because when you layer a lot of these colors on top of each other, you get a brown. Now I'll try to spread a little octopus facts along with this movie, but first just let me tell you what I'm doing here. You can see it's gotten a lot more colorful. I've gotten into those darker colors, and to blend these colors together, you can use rubbing alcohol, you can use oil, or you can use a clear wax colored pencil if you have one. I just used oil and the rubbing alcohol because I figured those were things that you would have at home. Couple octopus facts. The octopus has 3 hearts, blue blood, and it squirts ink at its enemies. The octopus is boneless, which means it can squeeze into itty-bitty places to get away from its prey. Also, 2/3 of the octopus's nerves are in its arms, not its head, like with us. So neurons, that is, not nerves. So that means that one arm could be like cracking a muscle and the other arm could be tending the octopus's garden, which we learned that Ringo Starr was told that the octopus went along the ocean floor looking for shiny things to make his garden. So the octopus is also extremely smart, and they can evade their predators. They're carnivores, so they eat different shellfish and other things. You can see here I've put glue on and I'm dumping some beads on. That's to make its tentacles, which are on the underside of each arm. So the octopus can also change color, which is pretty interesting. Since you guys are all older students, I'll just tell you too that once they reproduce, they pretty much die. They've got a short lifespan. And the male pretty much hands the sperm to the female and says, here you go. And then they have hundreds of thousands of little eggs that go up to the plankton, and they kind of hang out there for a while. But the problem with that is sometimes the plankton eaters will also eat the little baby octopus eggs. Oh, speaking of little baby octopus, the smallest octopus is the octopus wolfie, and it is under an inch, and it is so cute. You should look up that picture online. All right, there are so many interesting things about octopus, but you'll see I'm really trying to stay true to the picture and just put those quote-unquote tentacles on one side of each arm. Now for this last part, I'm going to add some watercolor. Now if you have thick paper, you're going to want to go ahead and put water over this first. So I'm going to put just plain, oh, I think I got a little color there, and then I realized I wanted to just put water on it. So my water's a little bit blue, but I'm just going to spread a layer of water all over this before I add the blue paint in, and that makes the blue paint kind of spread around on my paper and look a little more organic and ocean-esque, if you will. I also added a little fun silver in here, but again, this is just from my simple watercolor palette. I try not to use really expensive art things here, just things you have around the house. So if you don't have seed beads, you could just look for other little trinkets that you have that might make good octopus tentacles, like big rock salt. If you have any rock salt, is great in your kitchen to make these tentacles. Or you could even chop something else up. Pencils, sharpener, shavings, if you get them real torn up. I want you guys to make these your own. One thing I also used on the colors on this octopus were complementary colors. So remember, your complementary colors are opposite on the color wheel. So purple and yellow, red and green, and orange and blue, all, when you put those next to each other, stand out. I added a little more watercolor paint on top of the colored pencil, but since the colored pencil is wax, it will resist that watercolor paint. But I just kind of kept working and working on this because I really liked it. Put a little bit of shimmer powder on there just for fun. And then I will tell you that after this, I went ahead and put another layer of Mod Podge or glue over those tentacles because the seed beads do like to fall off. So if you have any strong clear glue, you can use that instead of Elmer's. And there's my finished octopus. So have a great day, you guys, and stay creative. Make it your own.